Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Wilderman, Chief Human at Claros, and today we're going to talk a little bit about compounding returns. Compounding is a pretty simple idea. You start with an initial investment, let's say $1, and you make a return, and you have a new balance. And then you reinvest that balance and you make another return and have another new balance, and so on for period after period. So that doesn't sound very interesting, but there are some myths and magic that both go along with compounding. Let's start with the myths. Myth number 1, all compounding is the same. In reality, there are two types of returns that work very differently, and we'll get into those types in a couple of slides. Myth number 2, all compounding works well. In reality, gains compound very well, and when we compound losses, it can have a very damaging effect. Here's where the rubber meets the road. What we're looking at is not investment performance, but simply a comparison of returns from period to period. As you can see from the table at the bottom, the blue line represents a very boring 8% return in each of the 5 periods. The orange line looks pretty exciting, and if you hang around with the people at Claros long enough, you'll understand that we prefer boring over exciting, and we'll hope to show you why in the rest of this presentation. So let's look at what happens when we apply these two types of returns to an investment, and we'll start with the erratic returns. We've got 3 out of 5 winning periods, and our winners are substantial, and our losers are pretty small. And at the end, we've generated over a 46% return. Now let's look at what happens when we apply a straight 8% return to the same $100,000 investment. Whoa, what happened? We generated almost a 47% return. So let's look at both tables together and see if we can come up with another question and get some answers. Well, I've kind of given it away by throwing everything up here all at once, and there's a lot to look at, so let me walk through this with you. In the erratic return scenario, we start out with a minor setback, no big deal. And in period 2 and period 3, we have really substantial double-digit gains. In period 4, we have another setback, but not even as big as the first. And in period 5, we have a whopping 22% return. Now, I would have assumed that with 3 out of 5 winning periods where the winners are huge and the losers are small, that we would have done better than a straight 8% return. So what we can see here is that the negative effect of compounding even small losses can really challenge the positive effect of even large gains. Because after bragging on ourselves at the end of period 3 about how the last 2 periods we had done so well, you can see that we're still $2,000 behind. And at the end of period 4, we're way behind. And the only way we can possibly catch up in period 5 is to have a whopping 22% return. So what if we hadn't had that? What if we had a more normal return? I wouldn't even want to look at that slide. So there are your answers. Erratic is the myth, sticky is the magic, and only sticky is compound worthy. So if you haven't seen part 1 in our series on core satellite investing, now would be a good time to go back and watch that. And if you have, this slide will look familiar. Returns are compound worthy when they're sticky, meaning they don't move around a lot, and they're predictable. And again, going back to our core satellite video, we favor income-driven returns over asset appreciation returns because what we're looking for in compound worthy is something that is core worthy as an investment. So hopefully this presentation has given you some clarity around how to do compounding. Because if we'd like to see our investments do this, then we have to act like this and stay away from this. Because the clear solution is to live on a well-lit, straight path, not try to figure out which way the road is going to turn next. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.